The Minnesota Timberwolves and Detroit Pistons faced off in a battle that had dunks, deep threes, lockdown defense, and even a bit of drama. Anthony Edwards went off, Rudy Gobert dominated the paint, and the Pistons gave them everything they had. This one went down to the wire, so stick around because you don't want to miss how it ended. And hey, if you love NBA highlights, hit that subscribe button, you'll get more clutch content than the Pistons got clutch buckets tonight. From the opening tip, the Timberwolves looked locked in defensively. Anthony Edwards wasted no time getting involved. First, a nasty rejection on Ron Holland, then turning defense into offense with a fast break slam on the other end. Meanwhile, Jalen Duren came out aggressive for Detroit. The young big man went right at Rudy Gobert in the post, showing no fear against the former Defensive Player of the Year. Dennis Schroeder, Detroit's mid-season acquisition, was orchestrating the offense, finding teammates for easy buckets. But Minnesota had an answer. Malik Beasley caught fire early, draining back-to-back threes to keep the Wolves within striking distance. Mike Conley, the veteran floor general, was controlling the tempo, dishing out assists and knocking down a floater to keep Minnesota in the game. By the end of the first, it was a tight battle, with Detroit holding a slight edge at 28-25. As the second quarter began, Detroit turned up the intensity. Schroeder continued to attack the paint, setting up his teammates for open looks. On the defensive end, they forced multiple turnovers, leading to easy fast break points. Minnesota, however, responded with more perimeter shooting. Edwards started getting into his rhythm, knocking down a smooth mid-range jumper, followed by another transition dunk. But Detroit wouldn't let them take control. Jaden Ivey got involved, slashing to the rim and converting tough finishes. Then, one of the biggest highlights of the half, Jalen Duren posterized Rudy Gobert with a massive putback dunk, igniting the Detroit bench. The Pistons closed the half on a strong run, taking a 56-50 lead into halftime. Coming out of the break, Minnesota needed a spark, and Anthony Edwards delivered. Right away, he threw down a one-handed slam, then came back down and drilled a step-back three over his defender. Julius Randle, who had been relatively quiet in the first half, turned up the heat in the third quarter. He bullied his way inside, drawing fouls and finishing tough layups. Then, he stepped out and buried a clutch three-pointer, swinging the momentum back to Minnesota. But Detroit wasn't done. Ron Holland pushed the pace, getting to the rim for easy buckets. Then came a huge moment. Schroeder threw a perfect alley-oop to Duren, who hammered it down with authority, bringing the Pistons bench to its feet. With both teams trading blows, the Timberwolves leaned on their defense. Gobert swatted away multiple shots, and Alexander Walker came up with a huge steal, leading to an easy layup. As the quarter came to a close, Edwards pulled up from deep and buried a three, giving the Timberwolves a 79-75 lead heading into the fourth. With the game on the line, both teams stepped up their intensity. Detroit opened the quarter with a quick 6-0 run, fueled by Schroeder and a big three from Buddy Hield. Minnesota needed a response, and Rudy Gobert provided it, catching a lob from Conley for an emphatic slam. Then came the defining stretch. With 4 minutes left, Edwards went into full takeover mode. He drilled a tough fadeaway jumper, then came back and nailed another deep three, extending Minnesota's lead. But Detroit still had one last push. Schroeder sliced through the defense for a layup and one, cutting the lead to 3. With under a minute to play, Detroit had a chance to tie, but McDaniels came up with a huge block on Ivey. On the next possession, Edwards sealed the deal. A cold-blooded step-back three right in the defender's face, putting the game away for good. Final score: Timberwolves 106, Pistons 99. What a game! Anthony Edwards proved once again why he's a superstar, leading the Timberwolves with clutch buckets down the stretch. Rudy Gobert dominated inside, and Julius Randle played a huge role in the second half. Detroit fought hard, with Jalen Duren putting up a strong performance, but in the end, Minnesota was just too much to handle. If you enjoyed these highlights, make sure to subscribe. Unlike the Pistons' offense in the final minutes, we won't let you down.